after the question of how many for how long, you need to know what it is you need to buy. You don't just need to go at things whimsically based on, for instance, you don't need to sit here thinking, oh, I got to buy some food or I got to have water and just go buy any water filter or just any food for the sake of throwing it in your closet and having a little quick peace fix. You need to know what you need. You need to think it through, write it down, so you're not just a hoarding mass that's wasting money and then it ends up not fulfilling anything. That doesn't do you or anybody else around you good, and it doesn't take you to the place of being a good witness, being a good help, or a place of destiny. So the reason I use the land is because this land has, it's got water, it's got a 4-acre lake, 30 feet deep, it's got housing, it's good at growing food, but for me, most importantly, it has natural gas straight from God right out of the ground, which is a game changer. Now, I'm not bragging about that fact. I'm just telling you this, that if you don't quantify what you want, if you're not looking for land with water and gas, you're just looking for land because you think you need land, you're not going to find the water and the gas. You have to be purposefully seeking it out and looking for it, knowing what you want. Now, so I say that, and everything else I'm talking about, whether it's food, whether it's tools, or what, you need to be just as purposeful in that as you are, as I've mentioned, being about land. So taking that point forward, you need to, now just as one note, write down everything you need, then give priority levels and start with the top priorities. Don't try to tackle 50 items at once. You're not going to do a good job like that. I mean, you just have to have priorities. Spend the available money at the top of the list and then work your way down. Always, when you're talking about purchasing, you want to have good reference material always to come back to. I'd say I'd put in these subjects we're talking about now, I would always put good value, high value on good resource books like some of those back there. We try to provide good ones that you can count on. Always buy good equipment. It's like I said this morning, when your life's on the line, you don't want to put it on the line with a piece of junk. A good educated buyer, in my opinion, would want to be part of either participate with a volume buying group. You can put together your own groups to where you qualify for wholesale rates yourself. Buy from a discount store like, for me, I like Aldi's. I mean, I don't know if y'all use canned goods or whatever, but man, they've got like soup for 59 cents a can. That is just crazy cheap. That a lot of their canned goods are good, but I buy from like Baker Supplies. I don't know. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 18 years old, so I've always been able to get wholesale accounts and things. But with Baker Supplies, you can get, we've got some bulk stuff back there that I got from Baker Supplies. Like we've got 40 pounds of instant potatoes for $62. Instant potatoes is a good gluten-free food for gluten intolerance. You can get a good starch value from that. There's other things back there that you can see. We just brought, for instance, in the markets of the freeze-dried cans, it's for a while now the eggs have been in short supply. But I went to the Baker Supply and I was able to get whole eggs easy. I got I think there's a box back there. It's a 50-pound box for $260, which is cheap compared to the number 10 cans that they're charging $50 or $60 for. I mean, compare a 50-pound box to that. I think it's a much better value buying the 50-pound box. So that's from a Baker Supply. You're only limited by your imagination as far as where you look and how you I call it rooting around. The Lord's always gifted me at being able to root out things. It's like, I don't know. My wife and people around me get mad. They can call a place 12 times and end up getting a busy signal or answer machine, and I'll call once, and just the person I need answers the phone. And I love operating that way, but it's. I encourage you though to know what you want and just go after it, and don't be not apologetic, but don't be embarrassed to ask for what you want or ask for who you need to talk to, and don't take no for an answer. I mean, I always tell people around me, no doesn't mean no; it just means find another way. So, but I like buying from manufacturers. If you go to manufacturers and you ask them who handles their overstock or overproduction or whatever, generally you'll find a source on nearly anything. I mean, that's whether you're talking about canned goods. That's how I got those discount canned goods we have back there. I get a weekly list from a couple of the canned good manufacturers, and we end up buying the stuff by the pallet depending on what is the best deal right now. Like there's one time that we bought several pallets of canned green beans at 43 cents a can, which is crazy. I mean, that's just crazy. I think they're $1.39 right now in the store. Or as an informed buyer, you can buy and participate with somebody like me on particular items. It's like right now we just started supplying bulk grains. We're buying grains, like we just made a deal on 3,000 bushels of white wheat. White wheat's hard to get around here. They mainly grow red wheat and such, but we found a farmer that had 3,000 bushels and made a deal to send it through a processor in a way where we could get it on our trucks. And we have the table for those grains, for the bulk grains back there in the back. But Chris, could you put the picture up for the IBC container? Have y'all seen these IBC containers before? Well, what we're doing is we're taking beans, rice, wheat, all the grains or beans or whatever, and we are putting approximately 2,000 pounds at a time in each one of these, and we're freezing it in our warehouse freezers for a month to kill all the bug eggs. And then we're storing them in our underground warehousing at 48 degrees, and stuff will keep for decades like that. We're doing it for investors. We've had several large investors just this last week. One person invested $53,000 in this kind of stuff. But I mean, you're only limited by your thoughts or imagination. I mean, you can find places even in your own areas to store these things. It doesn't have to be at 58 degrees. But you can, my point in showing this is that you don't have to buy personally 2,000 pounds of grain. You can collectively, I mean, you can get 10 families if you only wanted 200 pounds apiece or whatever, and really save money by doing this. And once it's frozen to kill the bug eggs, these containers have a valve on the bottom of them with a little handle to where you can dispense it as you need it. So you can share it with 10 families, and y'all just leave it in a container where It's safe. One of these containers costs about $150, and it's equivalent to 275 gallons. So that would be equivalent to 55 5-gallon buckets. And to give you kind of an idea on those buckets, they're around $7 for a bucket and a lid. And so do the math. I mean, that comes to about $375 for the equivalent storage. And so it makes really, really good economic sense. Tomorrow we're gonna bring just a visual. I don't know. Y'all can imagine what 100 pounds of white rice or brown rice is, but we're gonna bring in 100 pounds, a bag of each, just as a visual. I don't know if any of y'all want any of that while you're here or not, but we're getting in 44,000 pounds of it in the morning. So our guy that's going to unload it is going to bring a little bit of it here. But to give an idea what buying in volume will do, we're able to sell 100 pounds of white rice at $33.91. We're able to sell 100 pounds of brown rice, and this is the really kicker price if you compare to the store, $36.41. So that's like 36 cents a pound. I think it's going for $1.50 a pound right now in the store. What we found though was there's kind of a narrow window of opportunity on rice right now due to the floods this year on the Mississippi. The rice producers missed half of their season window for loading large grain barges for foreign countries. So they had this glut of rice in their warehouses. The harvest season was coming around the 1st of September. So they've got to move it in order to have a place to put the grain that's coming in. The harvest that's coming in is a little bit disappointing, but so in a month or two, the price is really going to get jacked up. But right now is a good buying opportunity for rice. I mean, these prices, I wouldn't doubt if this fall you see prices double this in the fall. This is what I'm talking about as far as being an educated buyer and being able to buy cheap and be efficient with your money. For those of you that don't have much money, it's really important that you don't work hard, you work smart. But all the bulk stuff like that, that's about what I wanted to share. Now, I wanted to share with you some of the things as far as products, being able to buy cheap or smart that we have here. And I'll just kind of go around the room a little bit. As far as water filters and storage, I don't know if each of y'all have seen or I've talked to you about, but we have a water filter we call the KISS water filter. I had the privilege of being involved in bringing that to market, and it is a little dome-shaped filter, a white filter ceramic combination of ceramic carbon filter that we have over here. And as far as it's the way it specs out, as far as what it will do, it's equivalent to the Berkey filter. In my opinion, the only difference between it and the Berkey is it's in 2 5-gallon buckets instead of the nice, pretty, shiny cans. but the Berkey's $300, and we sell that with the buckets and everything for $58. So that for me is kind of a no-brainer. And just to take that point a little further, sitting on the table over there, it's not for sale, but just to prove a point, you can take our $39 version of the kit and install it in those bread jars, those glass bread jars. We got them at Walmart for $10 a piece. And you've got a $59 filter right there that's beautiful. I'd put that on my kitchen counter. So, and then the bigger version of that, the trash can version of the water filters, that'll do 200 gallons a day. We put 5 filters in that thing. It'll do 204 gallons a day. And we sell that kit for $199. So we call that our Hope Center version, that I think is a whole lot of bang for the buck. So just going around the room, y'all have had time to see other things that we have here. What's any questions you'd like to ask me about any of this stuff before I move on? Anything? And I'm sorry if I go ahead. Yeah. Well, you have to realize anything that's made of grain or beans, whether it's in the raw form or in the processed form, it has bug eggs in it. Most people think that weevils get in the flour in the cabinet when the flour stays there, or cereal, or even some processed thing. I mean, I've seen weevils and mealy moths get in even pasta, but the bugs don't get in it. All that happens is the eggs that are there hatch, and a larva stage eats through it and creates this little web-looking thing that kind of makes it look like it sticks together a little bit, and then the larva becomes a moth. And anytime you see these little small brown moths flying around your house, they're coming from something that's processed. But you can people do a lot of different things to stop that. I mean, a lot of people think you've got to use dry ice in the bottom of a bucket to where it's nitrogen packed, or buy expensive nitrogen packed thing. You don't have to do any of that. A food research scientist told me 20 years ago when I first started this stuff, Terry, just freeze the stuff at 10 days or more at 0 degrees or colder, and it kills the bug eggs from the beginning. So I've done that ever since, and it served me well. I've still got stuff in storage and things I'm eating, grains that I stored back in the mid-90s. They're still good. Because and so I do it with anything, even down to doing these bulk grains. It's, the alternative is these grain dealers I've been talking to in order to get supplies, like I'm buying bulk right now. They would say, "Why are you freezing the thing?" They don't understand until I start telling them what I'm doing. I mean, their answer to simplify the process is they want to fumigate your grain. Whether you realize it or not, your grain that goes to General Mills or other food places has been kept at Archer Daniel Midland or whoever, and their answer to keeping this problem at check is they fumigate the grain. So I like the fact that I'm keeping it simple by freezing. And I mean, we can offer that now. I mean, we're in this warehouse. It's like I said earlier, it's 4 million square feet. It's got a 1.3 million of freezer, and we're able to do truckloads at a time this way. I think God put us in this thing because we're going to be doing millions of pounds of this at a time. And I mean, we can do rail car loads. Campbell Soup is bringing in right now 300 rail car loads of tomato paste for their soups into this warehouse. It's massive, massive quantities. So anyway, did I answer your question?
Yeah. So is that a service
Yeah, we can freeze pallets for a month for $30. So instead of trying to worry about trying to reconfigure your chest freezer to do a few buckets of food, just I mean, you can fit 36 buckets on a pallet. $30. That's a lot. It's trouble. We're out in Independence. We're not going to come pick it up and deliver it for that. I mean, that's brought to us. And if I hope I'm not overwhelming y'all talking large quantities. That's just the world I'm in, and I've done it as the individual. But we're just in a place now where God's calling us to take care of a lot of people. So yes. Now people are investing in grain, in long-term storage grain, because I mean I think I mentioned it this morning. If you look at Revelation 6:6, yeah, you weren't here when I was talking this morning. If you look at Revelation 6:6, it talks about a black horseman, and it says that a quart of wheat will be worth a day's wage, or a denarius, it calls it. And if you see what denarius means, it's a day's wage. 3 quarts of barley. Well, right now barley is just a little bit cheaper than wheat. They're kind of even. But as time goes, we know the weather is going to get worse, and wheat is it's not as hardy as barley, so that tells us that the weather's going to be rougher. That's why there's a little more barley left, or demand's going to go up for wheat or whatever. But I mean, there's been studies done that say for taking an average wage and multiplying it out, that for food to get that price, it has to go up 150 times current value. So I mean, when I heard that years ago, I think it was '08 when I heard that, right then, bing, I decided that's the market I want to be in. I want to be in the market of growing it. I want to be in the market of producing, manufacturing, warehousing, distribution. I want to. The world has never seen a market with those kind of multiples promised. So here I am. And I mean, I'm sure it's not near the stage that it will be. But I mean, you look at Joseph. A lot of people look at Joseph's story as if it was a warm, fuzzy, benevolent story, like a church ministry that's going to feed the world. Well, you better read that story again. That guy ended up, Pharaoh owned the whole known world. People ended up selling all their land for food, ended up selling their animals, and ended up selling themselves. And I'm not saying we need to enslave the world. I'm saying that we need to believe what God said when he said that the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. And that as good stewards, believe in God to be the big God he is, and that we can be part of what he has planned, that we can be part of that. Oh, I might add, as they were being enslaved, they were still thanking Joseph because he kept them alive. So I'm just saying that believe in God to call us into destiny, that we can be the brightest light ever shining in the darkest days. I don't think I'm the guy. Now, hear me well. I think I'm part of many that God's calling to this. And that you can ask that question, if not me, who? If not when? You know, now. Now, if not now, when? So the whole time I'm talking, I'm telling y'all this morning, today, and each time I talk tomorrow, I believe all this is a huge invitation. That you can believe it, not believe it, step away from it, ignore it. You can do whatever you want, but it's there for each of us that will believe that we can step into it and flourish. So I kind of went off on a soapbox. I'm sorry. Any more questions? So going around the room, as far as being smart buyers, I think that we've picked out of the market the grinders that should be considered. There's many manual grinders on the market. I don't think any of them should be considered that for any less money than the Country Living Mill. It's $395. You'll find many that are less than that, but in my opinion, they will let you down. When you go to use them, if it's anything more than 1 or 2 times, I think they'll let you down. I know you can get a little bitty thing for $69. It'll last a little while. It's made out of good material, but you put like a ½ ounce in it at a time, and you crank for about 5 minutes to get that. And so, I mean, if you want to spend a bunch of hours, and the grinder plate on that thing, the surface space is about ½ an inch. So that promises you that overutilizing that little bit of surface space, it's going to wear out pretty quick. Where the ones we're talking about over here, the Country Living Mill, the white-bodied one's got 3 to 3.5 inches of grinder space, and the big green one's got 6 inches. But anyway, I think these are the absolute best, especially that green one. You can't, on the personal use level, you just can't find a better grinder than that. Moving on around to the water products, Rod covered all of the water filters really well. I think the KISS filter, I don't know if he talked about the KISS filter or not, but out of all the products and everything that we carry, that is the thing that I'm tickled about the most. I believe it's utility-wise and bang for the buck wise. I just think that I just really appreciate and like that thing. Going around the room, there's, like I said again this morning, I'll tell you again the 5 books out of all the books that I would get. Dare to Prepare it's a rock solid resource reference kind of a book that you get that covers so much. You'll never. Yeah, Glenna's holding it up back there if you want to see what we're talking about. But I mean, it's just exhaustive. It's got a lot to it. Whether you need to know how to make soap out of nothing, out of a little bit of nothing. It just gives it all to you. Then Square Foot Garden. 20 years ago, when I first started gardening, not knowing how to do anything, that book is the one I started with. And I've since gone on and learned a whole lot, a bunch of stuff that's not even in there. But and then Seed to Seed is a book that just teaches you how to save seed and how to treat it, and in order for it to last a long time. Then Glenna's cookbook, she was talking about it. Yes, it speaks for itself. And then the last one is The Vision Beyond by David Wilkerson. I mentioned it this morning as well. But in that book, I'll expand on that a little bit. In that book, it's about a vision he had in 1973. He wrote it in 1974. Since then, so much of it has come true. Even down to the decrease in our value system, the proliferation of public homosexuality, all of that. But I'd say 60 to 70% of that stuff's come true. But it totally makes you look at what yet hasn't happened. He was talking about that soon land will be so expensive only large investment cartels can afford it, and that people in cities will pull up sidewalks to plant on the ground underneath them. The ground will be so needed. So that said, I strongly urge any of y'all, whether you've learned how to grow or garden or anything yet, to give thought to storing up seed. I'm going to talk tomorrow afternoon on seed strategy. Most people talk and say they want heirloom seed. Heirloom seed needs to be at the foundation, but as I'll share tomorrow, there's value in some of the hybrids. I'll share some in particular, but I'm gifted and really good at finding things. Like I said before, I don't know if there's some things in particular that you're looking for and you hadn't been able to find or whatever, but I would. There again, if any of you's got any questions, I'll answer them. If not, I think I'm going to stop there. We do have in the back, I want to just tell you this. In the back of the back, we have some teaching CDs and videos, like summaries on some of the things Glenn has taught. We have home security, one that's really good. But we'll welcome y'all to take advantage of some of those resources. There's one thing that I want to tell you that I haven't yet. I want to tell you about this. Where'd that jar go that was in that chair? Jar of gas treatment. Did it get put up? Did you put that up a while ago? We carry this. It is it's $29. But that jar right there will treat 1,000 gallons of gas. Most people, to preserve gas, they get some stuff called Stable. I think you spend $3 or $4 and it treats like 5 gallons of gas. This right here is a food preservative. And what I found out by accident, one of God's many divine accidents, that the military uses this. But what you do when you buy gas, I store up a lot of fuel, but with gas, you put this in it when you buy it, and you stir it, and then you add it once a year, and it keeps the gas from separating, from getting gummy, and it keeps the oxidation intact. And anyway, you do it once a year, and it stays good up to 9 years. Like I said, that'll treat 1,000 gallons, and the stuff is real stable. It's like you can use that 1 pound to do 100 gallons once a year. But for those of you, I don't know how far y'all go into your strategy for preparation, but it'd be a good idea to get some of that stuff. I buy it in 100-pound drums. I've been doing that for like 20 years. So most oils, I thought on the early stage of my preparation that olive oil would be stable and last a long time. So we put up quite a bit of it, and it was at a premium over a lot of the other oils that are out there. Sure enough, it went bad just like everything else. The only oils that I have found so far that last a long time are coconut oil and avocado oil. I've got some avocado oil that is 6 years past its expiration date and it's still good. So I don't know how far past its date it'll go. You don't find much research on it. So, but when you go from, my strategy was 20 people for 2 years for a long time. It's just been the last year or so that the Lord had me change to 10 people for 3.5 years. And that's a big change in strategy because there's a lot of things that'll go 2 years that won't make that jump to 3.5 years. So, I mean, a lot of things when you start thinking about, like shampoos or cosmetics that are oil or animal fat based. So it makes you really dig deep. One other thing when you're talking about long-term storage, seed. You can freeze it and it suspends the life cycle. It almost puts it in the embryonic stage. What I like freezing seed for is because just like freezing grain, it kills the bug eggs. You do the same thing, like with squash seed. you don't automatically get squash bugs when you plant squash like you do in the normal world. Freezing it kind of takes you back to, you get a reset button, I like to think. Any questions? Seed? Well, 2 years ago, I spent $8,000 on seed storage. I'll share that tomorrow. I've got a list of 300 seeds, and I'm going to give you all a copy of my seed list. But I keep it. It's been frozen for 2 years. And I keep it in 1 pound Ziploc sealable bowls. About a pound, depending on the seed, about a pound of seed fits in a 1 pound thing. And I've got mine strategized. It's in, as you'll see on the list, I've got 12 boxes. Each one has like 65 of those 1 pound things in it. And I just, I keep it listed by what box it's in. But that way I only take out a pound at a time. I don't have to rip up, like there's some seed I may have, like some corn seed, I may have 100 pounds of it. But I've got it in 100 1 pound containers. That way I don't contaminate it all, just to bring a little bit of it out. So you can freeze, it depends on what your purpose is. I mean, if you're just wanting to get rid of the bug eggs, then you just freeze it for 10 or more days. But my objective is to keep it viable long term to where I don't have to keep buying it. One other thing that came to mind, as you're thinking about being efficient and cooking, I am a big advocate of pressure cookers. You can do canning with them, but it just speeds up cooking. It's more energy efficient. I mean, like for instance, a pot of beans that takes 2 to 3 hours to cook, you can do it in 20 to 30 minutes with a pressure cooker. I love them. Usually when I cook I like cooking a big soup every couple of months. And I'll use a 5-gallon pressure cooker and cook up the whole thing. It's 20 to 30 minutes, yeah. And we'll eat a little bit of it, and then my wife and I we'll put it up in those Ziploc containers, and that way we just pull one out of the freezer at a time. It's a meal for us.